All right, we're joined by Lightning Adam Lilly. Adam, you ready for your 20 questions?
Hit me.
Question number 1, reds or yellows?
Reds.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Beach holiday or ski holiday?
Beach holiday.
Your greatest Q Sports achievement?
Beating Simon in the South Island final.
Your biggest Q Sports disappointment?
Maybe not going to UK and staying over there and playing properly.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
All Blacks or Black Caps?
All Blacks.
Who is the GOAT of New Zealand pool?
Simon Singleton.
Which New Zealand Qist do you admire the most?
Simon Singleton.
What is your Q Sports goal for the next 12 months?
Simon Singleton. Win this tournament.
Your favourite Q Sport?
Snooker.
Your favourite sport outside of Q Sports?
Football.
Your celebrity crush?
Simon Singleton.
Which player do you enjoy playing the most?
Des Wilcox.
National or Labour?
Neither.
You got a long black pot for $1 million. Who in New Zealand is taking it for you?
Me.
Your favourite pool tournament in New Zealand?
Great Southern Knockout.
Your highest snooker break?
1-4-1.
What is your go-to food at a pool tournament?
Probably pies.
Which player do you dislike playing the most?
Simon.
Adam, those are your 20 questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, joined by the shot maker, Baden Jackson. Baden, are you ready for your 20 questions?
I am.
Question number 1, reds or yellows?
Reds.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Beach holiday or ski holiday?
Beach.
Your greatest Q Sports achievement?
World Team Championship.
Biggest Q Sports disappointment?
I really got any, to be honest. It's a learning curve.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Definitely.
All Blacks or Black Caps?
Black Caps.
Who is the GOAT of New Zealand pool?
You're talking to him.
Which New Zealand Qist do you admire the most?
I can't say myself for this one, so any junior that puts the time and effort in to be as good as they can be.
Yeah. Your Q Sports goal for the next 12 months?
Practice.
Your favourite Q Sport?
Reds and yellows, really. Snooker, no, snooker. Probably snooker. It's a pure game for the purists.
Favourite sport outside of Q Sports?
I ain't really got a life outside of Q Sports. Watching my son play football.
Who is your celebrity crush?
Oh, jeez. What was that bird? I can't remember. I don't know. Brad Pitt, David Beckham, any of them. Yeah. I've slept with his brother, Seth.
Which player do you enjoy playing the most?
I don't know. Probably Matt McInnes, because I like fist pumping, and he hates it.
National or Labour?
I don't do politics. I'd probably go Mouldy Party, just to sit on the fence.
You've got a long black pot for $1 million. Who in New Zealand is taking that pot for you?
Tara Jackson, every day of the week.
Your favourite pool tournament in New Zealand?
Anyone I win.
Your highest snooker break?
144.
What is your go-to food at a pool tournament?
I don't know, I've not ate it all day. I don't really eat, to be honest. I don't know, anything. Believe it or not, I just love food.
Which player do you dislike playing the most?
What, in New Zealand or in...
Anywhere.
Gareth Potts, because I've played my best and just not been good enough to beat him.
Baden, those are your 20 questions. Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate.
now.
Hi Lewis, how are you mate? Dad here. Nice little shout out for my son who won his football tournament yesterday. Well done buddy. And to the wife, thanks for your support. I know you're feeling a bit crook at the minute babes, but hey, you'll get through it, you're a warrior. Right, I'm off to play. See you later guys, enjoy the show. He's still out jogging.
The voice. No, he's in the room. He's in the room. Terry. He won't be a moment.
He's collecting his information, Terry.
Anyway, that's 10 o'clock, so we should be underway very shortly.
Right.
Right, good morning everybody. Seems I've slipped into the chair at just the right time. I was having a chat to some of the supporters just before the game. I was also just wishing each and every player the best of luck too, and you see the top 8 if you're looking on Q Score. These are all scintillating quarterfinals. With the possible exception of throwing Healy into the mix, I think you've genuinely got the best 8 players in the tournament playing here.
So we're going to have the semi of this on the main table.
Okay, so the semi-final, or the winners of the... I'll just wait for this break and then I'll explain it. Bit of a weird break that. Maybe it's just the first one of the day, so that might actually be a foul break in fact. You hit 3 colour balls have to cross that latitudinal centre line. The line that runs between the 2 middle pockets there across the table, so I don't think it did. Unless one of the balls lapped around the table and sat back in the black spot area. And Paul's got the ability to perhaps rewind it for my benefit anyway. I'm just going to watch it.
On YouTube.
Oh no, it was a fair break.
3 balls did cross the...
So, yeah, I think... Well, the players made the decision that it was a foul break, but just on our replay that we could see that you couldn't, unfortunately. It was a fair break, but the players have come to a consensus that it was a foul break, so that's okay. So Adam broke, but now he relinquishes the break to Baden in this frame. That one was definitely a fair break. He's absolutely cracked that. And one player using the shark rack and one player not using it. Wonder if that could have made a difference. We'll never really know. You just woke up. Okay, John, well, that's fair enough. It is Sunday morning after all. We will get several more people come onto the stream. It's good that we've got 51 on already. That's a really good shot that Baden's just played there. Don't know if he's got the angle to get to that yellow that's on the red, unless he comes off the top rail. And I don't think he was actually considering that now he's kind of the wrong side of the table, or sorry, the wrong side of this ball over the pocket now to give himself a really good shot at breaking that yellow out. If he can get himself back to probably just the bulk side of middle and just off angle on that yellow that's above the black, then that could be your natural angle to just pop that yellow bottom left and then cannon off the yellow that's near the red. So this is okay. He needs to be careful he doesn't slide off this too much, that it more punches off the ball. Yeah, see? Missed the pot, but he would have gotten spectacular position on that yellow. So even though the result didn't go in his favour, it's certainly the right way to play it. Oh, right on to the God, good job. So Mr. Bionic Arm gets his first true turn at the table. I was remarking before about, or yesterday should I say, about how amazing it is that he can actually play pool still, but doesn't seem to be slowing him down. I mean, I just mentioned that and he misses, but the fact that he's still able to play top level pool and to a high standard when so many people would write him off just because he perhaps is hampered with his killing or with his bridge arm. Okay, so we've got another table that we can show you if the time permits. Paul's fixed the second camera table, so we've now got an ability to flick over to a second table if we need to. So if this game finishes early, then you will have the same view on table 2, where Adam Shaw and Steve Denton are playing. So 10 o'clock start today, so still a 2-hour time period for each match as Adam just lays a snooker in. Very few games actually went the full distance. Oh, careful. Just for a heart-stopping minute there, we all thought that black was going down. Baden's ended up, well, either lucky or unlucky depending on how this pans out, because there is a shot here for him if he gets back to the table. I think he was looking to leave him behind the black there. He needed the cue ball to be somewhere near that red in bulk if he was going to do that, and that would have really put the brakes on Baden here. But he does have, I believe, a wee angle to get into that rail. Oh, really? Really? Chance your arm, it comes off. I know Adam will be looking at that, shaking his head, thinking, well, why can't I do that? You could lay a snooker in here because black's in a good place for it. Could just come off the rail though. But the other thing that that ball offers is it blocks the 8 going in that top right, so he's taken a pocket away from Baden here. He hasn't made the pot on the yellow, but all still over the hole, so Adam's still got it all to do here. Look around the table and could try to pop this red top left, and then Hopefully he can land on the one at the same end of the table. That's what he'll be thinking anyway. Well, that's one idea for me, if he chooses to go for it, but he's looking like possibly a double. He tried to double into the yellow and it hasn't worked for him. I don't think anything really worked for him on that shot. He's trying to double into the yellow and then potentially leave the cue ball down table to leave a harder shot for Baden. It's all going to depend on what Baden can do with this though. This ball right in the pocket, so it's a bit harder to get that line for position. If you hit this too thin, it will come back too thin. It will come back more towards one rail towards the middle of the table. He has to kind of open it up slightly. So off the top rail, and he really needs to come somewhere near that middle pocket, so possibly off one of those two bolts either side of the middle pocket. Or he could go that way. That's ended up perfectly. Yeah, great finish. Excellent route to the black. He didn't want to chance the in off or ending up short and having to pull a shot out. He went the other side of the table because he always knew that there was a shot on that side. Even if he ended up short or long there was always a cut somewhere on for him. So 1-0 Baden over Adam Early Doors. Warm welcome to all the viewers who have tuned in this Sunday morning here from the Richmond club. It's 135 years of the Richmond club. Obviously 2011 a lot of the club was damaged in the earthquake. Spent a fair bit of time rebuilding it. And it looks absolutely glorious now. I know a lot of the people from the North Island who have come to play pool here have remarked on how lovely this place looks in its new iteration. What has Adam done to his arm? He must be a little late to the party, Linz. He was in Australia and they were basically, him and the other Pockets Pro players were on the beersies and kind of trying to do a karate kicks and trying to kick something suspended from the roof, and Adam actually slipped over in the process and landed on that arm or landed on that elbow and fractured it. Good morning to you too, David. Trust you're well this morning. I'm trying to flip this off the other yellow here, which he has done. And cue ball comes out beautifully for either of these two yellows down up table. He just needs to pick which one he'd rather cue. I suspect that the one nearest the black spot is the one he'll go for here, and if he's got a little bit of angle he can fade across table and be straightish on this one near the rail. Oh, he's bitten off too much there. I think he was trying to really establish that fade across table, and that ended up coming at the compromise of the pot. And sometimes it is possible to get too hung up on trying for the position when you play a shot, and it looks like an easy shot. I mean, if you rewind it back, the shot looks pretty simple, but in that quest for perfect position, sometimes you end up getting a little too into it and you end up missing what's the most important thing, which is to pop the ball, give yourself another shot. Adam will be looking to possibly go off this red that's just off the jaw here, as he has done. Maybe come out a little bit too far off that jaw, but he does have that red near the bulk line that he can play to get onto that red he's just promoted. The big problem, of course, after that, if he gets these 2 balls, is what's he going to do with that red that's on the rail. He'll follow into bulk there, but he's ended up well short of where I'm guessing he would have liked to have been. Would have liked to have been straightish on this, so that he could just follow through, leave the cue ball somewhere. If you can leave the cue ball somewhere near the black on the right hand side of the black, that would be the angle here. If he's still got that, I'm not sure he has. I just want to see how straight this is. I mean, that angle tells me that this shot is on. Oh, unlucky. Unlucky. Managed to follow through into it, but couldn't get a solid enough contact to pop it off the rail. That's what he really needed to do. Instead of kind of pushing it down the rail, he needed to go fuller into the ball so that it bounced past the yellow and ended up being on. So he's made a reasonably good shot here, but the problem he's got here is that, there's a few of them actually, is that Baden can maybe wick off this yellow on the right and end up maybe behind the black or the other yellow. He even played as a shot to nothing like he has done, so whether or not he wanted to pot that, he's got another opportunity at snooker here if he wants it. The way the balls lie, he might even be able to play this yellow past these other 2 balls and sit the ball somewhere near that pocket, and then it really does leave Adam in the poo. He's looking like he's queuing up the plant here. This is going to be quite dangerous. There's a number of reasons why. Yeah, that's one of them. Obviously is that he misses it and opens the red up for Adam. This is a tough shot, but anyone can cue these in. I mean, every single player in the room can cue these in, but in a big spot, Adam's one of the few people that you truly bank on getting one of these in this tight spot. Overcut it. He's overcut it. Certainly wasn't a half bad effort though. Actually easier to overcut balls with a smaller cue ball too. Oh, Baden was trying to go, I think, around the back of that ball for the same pocket, and he's ended up brushing into it. Still on though for the middle pocket. It's quite tight though. Might be going for the double here actually. Double or cue ball. Yeah, a bit all or nothing that. Prefer the double to the cut in the middle. That's because he was a better chance of getting position on the black if he had potted it. Yeah, you have to hit a rail though, Jody, after contact. I mean, that's the sort of shot you play in CNZ, but you can't do that in these rules. You have to make a rail, so that would have been a foul. Adam's come up a touch short here, but half ball sort of cut shouldn't pose him too many problems. Takes away any possibility of the in-off with the way he played it too, so level at 1. Some players would have just ran that through, and if there's any possibility of the in-off, it would have come from there, but Adam instead playing bottom to go into the yellow and prevent that. So here's your second table, one each between Adam Shaw and Steve Denton. Lovely view this now. It was pixelating yesterday, that's why it was taken away, but now we've had the camera fixed, so big thank you to everybody involved in that for being able to provide these pictures. So 2 balls to go for Adam on that other table, back here live. So it's a fair break, but again it's not a good break. Quite possibly he hasn't racked those correctly, or he just hasn't broken them very well. They didn't seem to split too well. So that tells me there was a few loose balls in there, and then he didn't quite... Oh, hello, what's he done here?
No.
There was nothing wrong with that break, Baden. What are you doing? Is he tripping on something? I knew 3 balls crossed the centre line, but...
That was only 2, eh?
3. That was 3.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done it. He did. Your first one was fair as well.
Yeah.
He's going to have a word to Baden here. This is a bit silly, you guys. You better get to him before he breaks. I can tell you definitively that it was a fair break. So it should be Adam's break here, and you set them up again and break again, but Baden's having none of it. Can you rewind it just to be sure? I don't want to sound like an ass.
No, I saw 3.
Just watching.
The 3 of
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay.
2 came back into
Yeah.
here. And 1
So the balls just have to cross that centre line between these middle pockets. They don't have to stay in that half of the table. They just have to cross. So I think Baden's just got his wires crossed there. You did right, Jordan. I just think Baden's just tripped himself up slightly on the definition of that ruling. I think what Adam needed to do there, if he was able to do so, was just stop Baden and call him in to have a look at the replay to just confirm that it was a fair break. Whether or not he was able to do so in time is another matter. Anyway, that's done, so Baden and on to 1 here. He's just off straight on the red, more middle of the table, then he can get on to that 1 that's nearest the bulk line, because that's on for the same pocket, but he needs to be careful that he doesn't involve the yellow in it. If it is straight, i.e. dead straight, it actually looks like it's pretty straight from here, then you can run through, because that red also passes to the corner pocket left. He's actually taken that 1 that I was talking about just before, so he's taken that first and taken it out of the equation.
Jojo's not happy.
No, you did right, Jojo. Oh dear. Welcome to Miscue City. Dare I say it, that might be a little bit of karma coming back. I mean, I absolutely love Baden, but sometimes you get stuff in pool where things come back. Anyway. Okay, Geordie, be good to see you. It's funny how things find a way of levelling out in this game. See if Adam can make something of this. This is not an easy table now. Not sure whether that yellow's on the rail or not. He might be looking to either develop it or see if he can get a snooker. Yeah, he's just overhit that. He was trying to grind it so the cue ball went back into that yellow that was out of bulk for a snooker. Difficult to control, but would have been a massive boon to him if he'd managed to make that snooker. I'd like to see if that red is on past that yellow. It looks like it might just be on. Maybe bank it off that the right jaw. No, on directly, so good shot there from Baden. Just needs to screw back about 50 mil here. Or back and sideways, so he's better on that straight line. And simple black, so Baden Jackson 2-1 up. Let's quickly switch over to Steve Denton, Adam Shaw. That's not the score. I can indeed confirm that Steve Denton is 2-1 ahead. So thankfully, with only 4 games being played, Q scores more easily updatable. Instead of following about 16 games or what have you, you're only following 4, so it's a lot easier to zone in. Stevie here on reds. Just follow this shot and then we'll switch back to the main table. It's a good little split there. What rules are these called? These are international rules, Jody. Oh dear. That's worked out horribly for Baden. It's a lovely split too, and he did get one, but he gets to enjoy absolutely none of it. Yeah, international rules. Now, these are very similar to world rules, Jody. There's only a couple of differences between world rules played on the 9-footers and these rules, which are usually played on supreme tables, which are smaller than these tables. These are traditional 7-footers. The supreme tables, the entire table fits within the bed of one of these 7-foot tables. So they're about 6 feet and I think 3 inches from inside top rail to inside top rail. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that world rules and APA rules are the same. But again, these are very, very similar to those rules. There's much of a muchness as to which balls you take here. Maybe that red to the right in bulk doesn't go, so that's possibly why he's gone yellows. I mean, either way he went, the balls are wide open. You just have to find the best set for a finish and then go for it. And having the cue ball in bulk to start with was a big help. So he's just off angle on this. He would have rather to be straight, dead straight I'd say, so he could just draw straight back into that left rail. He might be able to cheat the pocket and still do that though, or even use that angle beautifully. And what was more is that he had enough room between that yellow and the red to squeeze off that and miss the red. See how the cue ball just sort of slid across the table. It's an excellent illustration of a drag shot there. That's one reason why it's so good that the cue ball has the spots on it. You can easily see what it's doing there. Adam not bothering with trying to reach over the table here because of all those reds in the way.
They couldn't have come and had a lock, John. That was the ruling from Mike. They weren't allowed to come into the lock.
Oh, okay. So nicely on the black here, and we're locked up once again. So 2 each, Adam Lilly, Baden Jackson. And break and clear is, well, sorry, not a break and clear, but it was a clearance away from the break. Baden, of course, fouling on the break. I believe this is still the 4th frame, so no change to the score that we know of. Adam on yellows. Steve's got good control of this table, but Adam looking to move that yellow out of the way, and he's done really well. He's also moved the black too, so the black was a problem as well as that yellow in bulk. So he's done extremely well to make this a clearable table now. Whether or not he actually clears is another thing, but the opportunity is now there, and if he's learned anything from his opponent yesterday when they were playing on the stream, manufacture a clearance from almost anywhere.
Neil?
Good morning, the gentleman, Neil Wally. It's good to have you on, and I hope you're enjoying this fine exhibition of pool. Also hope you saw that clearance that Healy made yesterday. That was right out of your playbook, that one.
I've got it to play later as well now.
Can of course watch that clearance back on our stream now, because Paul or whoever's done that has kindly made that available. Alex Stone's made the video and made it available on Facebook, and now we've been able to play it if we can,
At some point.
and when we can. That's then. This is now. See that Adam's decided to use the shark rack now. Obviously the balls weren't breaking for him, so something had to be done. Generally doesn't use the shark rack himself, but he's one of those people who's open to using it if the situation calls for it, and in the first 2 breaks he's had, the situation has certainly called for it. They weren't very good at all.
Add it to our videos I can use later.
Not too sure if this is on for the angle here, if the red in the middle, more in the middle of the table, to extract the one next to the black. The other shot that he's got there, maybe, if he's looking for the extraction now, is to play the red closest to that bottom right pocket. Wouldn't need to do too much. He'd just need to screw back into the rail and maybe pop the red away. So he's popped the red away, and unfortunately he's gotten the wrong side of the red when he's hit it away, and he's ended up behind the black. He wanted to hit the red either full or on the other side, so that the cue ball squeezed to the black spot side of the black, and that way he would have at least had a shot on one of those other 2 reds. Oh, look at this! Geez, he's just about manufactured a gem there. Yeah, it was one of those moments, Neil, where the balls just lined up perfectly for it, and I could see it straight away. It's one of those magical things that you see it straight away, and you get the player who actually sees it when they're playing, and you know that the shot's there, you know it's on, and you know that they're in the mood to take it, and everything just lined up so perfectly for that.
There you go.
Oh, okay. That makes everything... adds a bit of intrigue to it. Well, players are actually not allowed to come in and see the replays, so we've been told. So
It's an unfair advantage.
it's considered an unfair advantage. So obviously you don't want one player getting the benefit of that, so you don't allow it for either of them, which I think is fair enough.
More than the other tables aren't getting streamed, so they don't get the advantage of.
Okay. Paul's just saying the other tables, because they're not streamed, but they don't get the advantage of having replays, so they've just tournament controllers stepped in and made a common sense call and said, well, you don't get it either on this table. Whilst I'm saying this is some sort of clearance from Baden. I tell you what, 3-2 Baden Jackson, and a bit of an understated gem that. Looking at fabulous clearances that players have made, and it's understated, but that one's certainly there. This is an Aikimo sort of shot in the black from Steve. I can tell you definitively that this is on, but you really, really have to dig into this with loads of left. It's almost a touch shot, this. Oh, just about, and I don't know whether this cuts. I just want to stay with this briefly because this would be some sort of steal if Adam can win this frame. Sorry, it's taking too long. Sorry, ads. Back to the break, which is a successful one. I see a red down. Red down, and quite possibly where the balls have ended up. I don't think the reds are the go here, unless Baden's really willing to take a risk on that one in the middle of the table. I mean, yellows look good as well. You've obviously got the two that are rubbish, but those two can be moved, and quite readily so. And this is the one here. It's the one that's closer to the bulk line here, of those two yellows in bulk, that he'll play. And so, no, he's playing the other one, so he didn't like the angle, or he wanted to clean up these two in bulk first. Now they come out. And the blacks ended up uglying one of the other yellows up. So he's possibly a little unlucky there. He's had a dead go at it, and sometimes pool gods don't quite rule in your favour. This is certainly not the end of it, though. Well, it is now, because he's... Oh, hang on, I've spoken too soon. I've spoken too soon. More than a little bit jammy there. That's a fantastic shot, but I don't think he wanted to be that close to the rail. He came out nicely for the one nearest the rail there on the left.
I was trying to be quiet.
He failed. But this is going to be difficult to hold. He might not even be able to hold this, so he's going to decide, does he throw the hold out of the window and deliberately play to go right to left here? Yeah, he's just about gotten jammy again, you know, and he would have got that position too. So he jammed one of them in, and that one didn't, and now Adam's got the chance that he could have had a few balls ago to clear the table. So 2 each on the other table, Adam Shaw, Steve Denton. Lovely bit of queuing that. Those are not easy to play. especially that sort of 45-degree angle to the pocket. Those are often the ones that you see missed. I wonder if Adam might try to cut this red in that's nearest the yellow at the black spot end of the table, or he's taking the one towards that bolt pocket there. And this allows him a better look at coming back up table here, and if he can end up, he's just pointed to the spot there. So it's the red that's the middle red of those three is the one he wants to be on here, and he wants to be on it so that he's got the angle and he can just pop that red on the rail off. Well, I say it's on the rail, it's just off the rail, but he wants to pop it off. If he runs reasonably full ball into it, then even if it goes somewhere not so great, then he's got a shot on the one next to the black. That was your second option. He didn't feel he needed to move it, or he didn't have the angle, so he ensured that he at least got a shot on it. So if he is going to play this one, he's got to give himself, he's got to end up high on the red, or at least straight. So yeah, he's ended up slightly high on it, which is pretty much bang on. And of course with the small cue ball you can throw it slightly, or skid it slightly more sideways, and even if it is straight, then you can skid it more towards between the black and the yellow as described there. Adam's got a few choices as to how he plays this. He can play down on it and take any in off out of the equation. Yeah, he played down on it with punch. Down she goes, so back to even Stevens. One player threatens to get away, the other player catches up with them, so 3's a wild and 2's a wild here. Not entirely sure whether he's gotten a full snooker there, but Adam's going off the right rail anyway. That offers him a chance maybe to pot this red. So you can see the left edge on our screen, then there's no real chance of potting that ball, and he also risks going and off it. So if he takes that right rail first, it gives him a shot at potting this red. So snooker or not, that's the way to go. Jack up on it with side. That was a mighty good effort. He's ended up pushing it in not such a good place though. So Adam breaking. And you see how much better that break is with the shark rack. So it was a good call to introduce that into his break. Three yellows off the break, and the yellows are sitting nice here. I just wonder if he might be looking at an 11 ball finish here though. Just depends on whether that yellow next to the black goes. I dare say that it does. And I think Adam's just trying to pick out how he gets on it. It looks obvious to me, but obviously to the players, they've got a lot more running through their heads than I do up here. I mean, I'm just here commentating on it and they're playing it, and what they see is often wildly different in their heads to what I'm seeing here and what you guys and girls are seeing at home. So what seems obvious to the viewer is not so much to the player. and vice versa. Oh, we are going reds, okay. Well, this will be some sort of spectacular finish if he makes it then. Have to pot 11 balls to finish a frame, so be it. So either of those two reds you can see, the two reds closest to that bottom left corner pocket here, I'm just looking at those. If one of those goes, then that's the key for me. May not need to move anything. Get good position on this red below the black spot. I think he's slightly straight here or the wrong side of it. And if he can establish an angle though, or re-establish an angle on one of those four reds there, in particular the one I think nearest the black spot of the four. He's tried to go up off the rail and he's ended up fluffing it. So maybe he's tried to go for the one in the middle pocket instead. He's tried to give himself the best shot that he can, and he's ended up missing the pot. That's poor position, and Baden's really not happy with himself. I mean, he hit a big expansive table off to his right and he chose to go left, and he's well and truly in the trees here. The black mark on the floor. Oh, I see it now. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably not going to get my eyes off it either, Steph, thanks. I was taking the yellow nearest the black here. Oh, he's not covered anything. He's made two of those reds ugly, but he's not covered a damn thing, so he could have let Adam back in here. Adam will like to avoid moving this yellow if he can. It looks like it passes directly. In fact, he's played off the yellow to take the pocket. Now, I'm not too sure how much benefit he gains though from doing that, because if Baden just takes the pocket back here, then it makes it A, harder for Adam to snooker, and B, that pocket is now controlled by the yellow. Yeah, Adam might have a shot here though where he could draw back off the red closest to him into the yellow, play the loss of turn shot, and maybe either get a snooker or leave Baden a tough shot in the process. But he's taking a more attacking route here. He really wants this to go, and it's not going to. He's taken the obvious yellow away, which was the one over the hole, and he's forced Baden to play long first here. But he wanted that to go down so he could play the loss of turn shot back and try to follow the cue ball, so it ended up behind those two reds. So that's what he was trying to do there. He wasn't trying for the loss of turn shot, the first shot he had. He's trying to play at the second shot because he had a better snooker built in. Makes that fall nicely. It definitely wiped its feet on the way in, but chose to drop into the hole. Yeah, no, don't fix your screen, Terry. It's not your screen that's playing up, it's just that possibly an imperfection on the floor. I think somebody keeps leaning on the camera the table that the camera's on, because you see the camera just wink back and forth. tricky killing this. Missed it by some distance. That it was a difficult shot to cue because he also had to be mindful of the in-off in the middle pocket and possibly played that conservatively as a result. So pot the red over the pocket and then try for that loss of turn shot again. That's not great. He could billiard off the bottom red of those two that are stuck and play that loss of turn shot off that maybe. He wanted to be, I think he wanted to be straighter on those balls than he is. He's still got a shot though, it's just a bit harder now. He has to make sure that he at least pots the yellow off this. Yeah, well played. And he got a snooker too by the look of it. I'll just look to see if he got the snooker. Indeed it looks like he has. Oh, full balls to the wall. How's it going to finish? Oh, that's finished real ugly for both players. And that black actually takes a really good snooker away. There are still snookers to be had there, but that black makes everything so much tougher. Yes, he made a rail, so it's a fair shot. And I think Baden was pointing to that red. He just drove to the rail to say it's not on the rail, so I can play into it and make the rail that way. Just thin the yellow there quite nicely, and this is a really interesting position he's left Adam in here. If he can ping this red off the rail and leave the cue ball behind the black, go. Or even behind the red he's just played. That's a really good shot. Baden's got a route through here. Oh, he's saying that he hit the red first. He might even make this yellow, but I'm sure he hit the red first. Hey Claire. Can't go in here and get a replay. It's not allowed. I think what he really needed to do, unless somebody was watching off camera, is that he needed to get a ref to watch the shot. I think Baden's saying no, it was a fair shot, or I think Adam's walking this way. But this is one of those situations where you really do need a referee available to watch shots like that, because there's always that, when the balls are so close to each other, and there's always that opportunity that there could be a foul or it could be simultaneous contact or something. Rhino and the Postman, sorry I did see that, Mark. At the moment Simon's leading Ryan 5-3, so these are all raced to 8. Des Wilcox 4-3 up over Brent Wells. Steve Denton is 3-2 up over Adam Shaw. Des 5-3 up. Cheers Marissa. You must be getting your updates through Chrissy, who will be watching that game in earnest. Sitting next to Jane Wood, who of course is Brent's partner. You reckon it wasn't a foul? I can hear the conversation going on in the other room. Baden's debating whether, he's saying that the technology that's available should be used to determine whether or not the shot was a foul. Now, I don't debate that at all. I reckon he's right, but in fairness to all other players, as discussed before, who aren't playing on the streaming table, it's the decision's been made that you can't use replays. We're just we're trying to have a look at it on our screen now. Not that it makes any difference because the players can't access it. So, okay, the players have come to an agreement that it was a foul, so we can indeed move on.
That's what we're just looking at now.
Jeez, it's hard to tell. It's even hard to tell from us. I mean, you really needed someone there right over top of that to watch it. Come out nicely for this ball near the rail. Makes it drop. And the speed he played that at made that fall. He's picked just the right speed to take that whole pocket. Similar sort of shot here for the black. Yeah. Now to get the first lead, 4-3 Adam Lilly. Cross over to our other table, 3-2 it is actually. Steve Denton has taken the lead back. Adam Shaw at the table, that needs to giddy on up. And it has not, so stuck behind the black. Needs to come up with a hopawate of sorts here. Tried it. How the pool god's going to roll, that's not bad. He's forced Steve into this. He's got to play a shot. Well, he doesn't need to play a shot. He could always play a snooker. And in fact, the red that he's closest to makes it an easy snooker ball. No foul. Okay, well you are a referee, Dan, so take your word for it.
Must be a toilet break or something, because nothing happening here at the moment.
The players are just taking a quick break, so we'll have a good watch of this whilst they are doing whatever they need to do. Has indeed taken the snooker. Coming short rail here, might kick this into the middle pocket or even the corner pocket. Wait. Oh, if that had sat in the road of the red, that would have been a good result, but it hasn't, so Steve's got a much better look at this now. He could cut either ball in, but the one on the right's the better one because he can cut that in and put a trace of left on it and get himself onto that one down the rail. A good bit of subtlety there. That's a lovely touch because the propensity is to hit that with too much spin, and it either doesn't bite or it bites too much, but subtlety is the name of this game, and Steve knows that all too well, so we can switch over to our TV table now.
There you go, Baden was on the phone.
Baden was actually on the phone to you, Tara, okay, so that might have been why he wanted a break. I mean, Baden might have been the player who called for a break just to recompose himself. That was yellow first, so that's a fair shot. If he'd hit the red first and potted the yellow, it would have been just lost a turn because there's no set established. To remind of course that you must pot the ball the set you first hit. If you hit multiple sets in the same shot when there's no set established. Yeah, I think that's definitely one for technology if it can be used in a fair way. just leave that debate at the door for now. Baden looking to redress the balance here. I see tournament controller Michael Hayes in the room. Baden unfortunately unable to make the pot, so play passes over to Adam now, and looking at those balls that are inside the shark rack to see if one of them's immediately on, and if not, how best to make these on. The two options that he's got here, if he takes the red on the left hand side of your table and one he's closest to, he can either come back out for the ones at the bulk end of the table and then make his way back. Seems he was trying to just get a little work early and didn't get it, but the good part about that is that he's still on something and he's readily on a ball, so he can easily reset himself if he needs to. So he gets a split there, but they haven't split up very well. Possibly that middle red does go though. See those three balls there, the one in the middle could very well go bottom right. I just wonder whether he's noticed that, or whether it even is on. If those balls aren't cuddling, I reckon that's on, but obviously that's a shot for the future. If he can make the future happen. Looks like a long blue to the corner here though. Snooker sort of shot, he should be good at these, but instead he's taking the cut. And tried to land behind the red for a snooker, but he hasn't managed it. Decided that he wasn't going to try for the clearance that wasn't there. Instead try to lay up a good snooker, and well, he's going to get another shot at it because Baden's unable to pot first ball. There's certainly a better look at the table than he had before, so I'm guessing Adam's going to try and clear this. He's made a good first ball. What do I really want to do here? Well, what Baden's actually done that I didn't notice before, but now I have noticed, is that he has actually taken that middle red of those three out of play in terms of being on. It's not on anymore because the yellow's in the way. So he's necessitated a split here of some description. So if Adam can, he needs to re-establish some sort of angle on that red right in the middle of the table. Right now is probably too much of a cut and too much of a risk. So this red obviously must pass the yellow into the middle pocket, otherwise he wouldn't be going this way. So he just wants the shark rack removed here. Healy's just wandering over to try and help him remove the shark rack, because this could have a big bearing on where the balls go after the split, because if you cast your mind back a few shots when he attempted the split the first time, I think it was the black actually ran into the rack and then rolled off and ended up being closer to the reds than it otherwise would have been. So if you can remove the rack, that takes that completely out of the picture. So it's good that again the players are open to this method of having the rack removed, you don't need a referee or all the tools to do it. You just need to agree on how it's going to be done and accept that the people who have been charged with doing this know exactly what they're doing, and that the players accept the final result. So good job there from Healy. Definitely a good call there from Adam to have that removed. It also allows them more time to look at this shot too, and you can in fact use it. It's a good tactic in fact, if the shark rack's on the table, whether it needs to be removed or not, you can use it as a tactic to give you a little more time to look at a shot. He's got, oh no, oh no, oh dear. Now, there might be a billiard on here. There might be a billiard on here, folks, you know. That red furthest away from the black spot may possibly billiard off the black here. I think this shot might be on. This will be amazing if it is. Oh, look at it. It was on without it. How's his position though? Can he see even the tiniest edge of this red? Just cycling through the views, I don't think he can. And that one's no good. It's probably going to be this one here and the top view, but I'd say no. And Adam's shaking his head, so he doesn't believe so either. Yeah, you got a point there, John. I actually think it obviously you keep your house in order before anything else. Having a go. How's this going to end up? No good. Calling the pool gods in once again, and this time they've ruled in Baden's favour, so entertaining little passage of play, but Baden gets ball in hand here. You did right, Jojo. Anytime you've got a shot anywhere near close, you need to get a referee in, take all the guesswork out, and then once the referee's made a decision, you accept it and move on. Baden needs to play this at just the right pace. Make the ball, but get your pace right. Oh dear, that's terrible. Oh, that's absolutely terrible. He's snatched at it. That was the chance to really get back into the game. I know he probably only will be 2 frames down after this, but it seems like so much more when the opportunity presents itself and it flashes in your face like that. And you'll be feeling a little more mopey now, I think, Tara. You did right there. You're a better call of body language than I am. So Adam just doing the needful before he plays this black, just taking a bit of time to compose himself because he recognises that this is a massive juncture in this frame. Maybe a frame that he didn't think he was going to win a few shots ago. Oh, it snaked its way in. It didn't go in cleanly, but the main part is that it went down, so 5-3 to Adam Lilly. Cross over now, and it's 4-2, now 4-3 to Steve Denton. Adam Shaw just winning that frame and halving the deficit. And Baden's got to get his house back in order. He's missed a big opportunity to win that previous frame. He's He's just got to let it go. First of all, he's got to hope that he gets a shot here, because Adam's break has moved up a few gears. As soon as he's started using the shark rack, which he didn't have before, but he's now using it, his break has actually improved so much more, and he's routinely been getting balls off the break, so very much going against recent history here is Baden in terms of what's happening on the break. Adam just giving the table a wee bit of a brush. And look at this split. He's absolutely strapped there. That's a wonderful hit. Yeah, I think not so much accredited refs, Tara, it's just people who know the rules and have a good eye for the game and a good eye for contact with balls when there are balls that are close together. I think that's the key at this stage of a tournament. So Adam's taking reds here, and if that gets a good bounce off the rail, he could be on the one next to the yellow here, the one on the right hand side of the table next to the yellow. If he's on that, he'll most likely play it. If it's not on, then he can go back to it, but it does look like it will go, or it is on. Oh, you see there, it was actually more on than he probably thought. My guess there is that he thought he needed to get in closer to the yellow, but he didn't want to get too close and foul. That's a really good shot from Baden, though. He's answered back with a snooker instead of trying to go for something. He's taken his foot off the gas, but what he's done there is he's just given himself a little more time in this frame, and there you go. That's what happens too. Sometimes you get that little nick and it goes against you, but you've earned that. And it might be a touch unlucky for Adam, but Baden's earned this opportunity because he played the right shot for the frame. Des Wilcox versus Brent Wells. That game has gone final, by the way. Des an 8-4 winner, so he will advance to the semis, and commiserations Brent Wells.
I think the noise in the room is because of this. We're so close to walls and stuff, Charlie. That's what I'm hearing for these comments when some people say you sound funny. Just the echo from because of the tight space we're in.
Oh, okay.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Oh, okay, so somebody's just pointed out that I sound funny. Well, don't most people sound funny at quarter speed though? Is that what you mean? This is interesting. I wonder what is he trying for another snooker here? Is he going to try and play the turnover shot and get a snooker? Because the tables don't look great for yellows here, so he might be trying to just manufacture a better table, so to speak, here. And the way you do that, you keep putting some snookers in, or playing tactical shots like this one. I mean, he hasn't gotten the cover as well as he might have done, so he might have just left the door ever so slightly ajar for Adam here. So maybe the execution there wasn't quite as he would have liked, and Adam maybe could only be one good shot away here from making him pay. It was certainly the right idea though from Baden. He's trying to get a better foothold in this frame, doing it the right way. That's a really good starter from Adam, but I don't think he's really landed on anything here. Red doesn't pass the black into the middle. He can't go top left pocket with this red that he's closest to, which would be your best outshot here. That's not available. There is a double though. Looking at the double here, the red leftmost on the table. That also offers him, if he pots it, the chance to get better field position, but he's looking to try and scoot this red past that yellow top right of your screen. And this is one of those shots where pinpoint accuracy is key. If he can slow down the game for himself just here, this is the key. There's a second double on possibly. I'm just looking at this. He took the opportunity and could see what it would have left him, but unfortunately for him it hasn't gone, so took the chance, didn't work out. Baden now, as he would have liked to have had before, but now has a good table to start with, and that's a really nice bump on the yellow, and now that table just looks so much better with one of the problem balls removed. Could move the second one here. Well done. Possibly a bit lucky with the kiss off the red, but I mean, he was in the wheelhouse, he deserved it. Now taking this yellow over the bag so he can go between the red and the black. Red on the right side of the table and the black. Moving away from that, taking the one in bulk instead. And opens up nicely here, so he can either just roll this in or punch out as he has done, because it was straight enough. He can get closer to this ball so he doesn't have to roll so much. He can just punch it and just play this at a good slow pace and naturally come out for the black as he has done. That's pretty much bang on there from Baden. Just needs to make one good shot, and he does. So Baden Jackson pulls back to within a frame. It's 5-4 Adam Lilly. And this game now, as we wait for the break, 4-3 on Q score, 4-3 here. Steve Denton still with the most slender of leads. Such an important frame, that one though, between... Oh, that's a beautiful shot, Adam, sure. The black will go past the yellow. As long as he makes it, he will regain a share of the lead, and this he does. So well done Adam Shaw, squaring us up at 4 on that table as we move back to our main attraction here. Good break, but it's your worst nightmare when you just win a frame, you get to break and you break dry. So Adam immediately to the table here. And he's out nicely here on this. It's this yellow that's closest to bulk of those. See those 3 balls that are top right of your screen? The yellow that's closest to bulk of those 3 is in a pretty good position for it to take it then, but because the one below it is on in the middle pocket, he didn't need to move them. So if you don't need to move balls, don't move them. And if you can easily get onto that ball, see, he's gotten easily onto that, and he's left himself a good angle so that he can coast back up table and get himself onto that yellow to the left hand side of your screen. So figure out if that is the one that he's playing for. And maybe not, because possibly the one just up from the black spot could go past the other yellow. If it doesn't, then he's missed his position here, I would warrant. If it does go, it's okay, he's fine, but if it does look like it goes though, so yes, crisis averted. Simon's game, he's 5-4 up over Ryan King at the moment, Terry. So 4-all Steve, Adam, 5-4 this game to Adam Lilly and 5-4 to Simon. Oh, that's not great. He's just taken his eye off that. Made that so much harder than it needs to be. As long as he gets a good chunk of this red, he should be okay. And he has done. He's actually saved that really, really nicely. So once again, crisis averted. And black down. So Adam Lilly re-establishes his 2-frame lead. He's 6-4 up over Baden Jackson here. Moving now to our secondary table. And Simon Singleton, almost on cue, has gone 6-4 up over Ryan King. So these two games almost mirroring each other. So Steve here at the table on the reds. Looks like it could be Healy watching this game. I'm trying to pick out whose shoes they are. Possibly willing to step in as a ref if needed. Just want to go back to this table here and just want to show off the shirt that Adam's wearing. It's a Shaw Cues shirt. So Adam Shaw makes pull cues as well as his daily grind as a joiner. Makes wonderful cues as well. I've had a chance to have a hit with one, and they do feel really good in your hands and they do play extremely well. So if you've got a bit of cash and you need a cue, hit Adam Shaw up and he can make you one. Your own bespoke pull cue. And would you believe it? Adam's broken dry as well. So Baden at 5-4 down had the break, broke dry, and Adam cleared to get to 6-4, and now Baden's got the same chance here to clear against serve to get the deficit back to 1. So little moments, so big if you take them. So Baden's ended up, I would say, a little straighter than he'd like to be on this red, so he's going to try to re-establish the shot that he wants on the red that's in bulk. Thankfully for him, he had a ball that was in pretty good position on the table from where he could do that, so the red over the middle pocket offers a good ball to get onto that red in bulk that he wanted to be on, preferably on this shot. But instead he's going to try and take balls at this end of the table. Maybe fancies just clipping off that red. You can clip off that red that's near the black here, naturally run towards the one in bulk, and then come back up table from the red in bulk. Just get away from the yellows, get away from the yellows. That's not ideal, but can be made. So be looking at that gap between the black and the yellow most central on the table. want to find a way through there, or even a way through. You see where he's pointing his cue? It's the yellow next to the black spot and the black. If he can get through there, that's a better line. And well, he's found a roundabout way to get there, so not the way he would have wanted to get there, but he got there. There's a chance here he might, if he plays this off the rail, but he may not need to. Oh, he's screwed straight into the other corner pocket. Would you believe it? If you told me he was going to do that, I wouldn't have believed you. Could that be the game? He's got 3 in bulk here, and he's got a good one to split the other 2 out. And he's gotten a partial split. He's got a plant that could be on, and the one leftmost of those 2 is on. Could get a better shot on it here. Maybe the plant's on, so okay. And this also, if he plays it as a stun shot, if he plays the plant as a stun shot here, not only does he get a better shot on that ball he's about to hit, but if he misses the plant, it's a snooker. So yeah, see, he would have gotten a snooker there if he'd missed the pot, but he got the pot, and he's in a good position here on this yellow in bulk, so that he can coast one rail and back up table and be on ball. Really, any of these 3 balls, to be honest, they all go. If he runs too far for the one in the middle, which he has done, and he's got the one bottom right of your screen, or he could elect to take the one in the middle and then get back on that one bottom right of your screen. So he's got choices here. Sometimes choices can be to your detriment, but as long as you reroute if you need to and take a bit of time to know exactly what you want to do. So I'm guessing you'll be bottom right pocket and then bottom left pocket here. You can naturally put a little bit of screw on this, and if he's off angle, but no, he's taking the one nearer the black spot first. Try to spin back out for the second of those 2 yellows. He's done well there. Now, I mean, that could have gone behind the black and been awful, but played the route quite nicely and ended up the correct side of it. I think you're right there, Joe. I don't exactly agree with the shot that he played. I'm talking about Baden here. He's Adam. He's not on for the middle, but this will still easily go in the corner, so it's not a bad second prize there. Looks like I'm not sure which pocket he's going for here. No, he's gone for the corner and he's missed it. Well then. How are you looking, Baden? Where's your head at? Hope it's still attached. This is a massive pot. Makes it. Lives up to the moniker on the back of his shirt. Baden Jackson roars back into the game. It's 6-5 now, Adam Lilly. And Stevie D 5-4 up in this match, now 6-4 up as he holds the black. Simon Singleton on the hill against Ryan King, so 7-4 there. Yeah, so I mean both.
It's just on final.
So that game has actually gone final. Simon Singleton and Ryan King. Simon Singleton 8-4, a winner there. So he will await the winner of this match. So we'll get, oh, the 8 sat on the shark rack, so might get somebody to mark the 8 so it can be removed. This game writing some interesting chapters, really. Baden should have won it, first visit to the table. This is the previous frame I'm talking about. Looks like Cody Turner, is it? There to help with the removal of the shark rack. But yeah, Baden should have won that frame, first visit to the table, and then Adam should have cleared off the resulting ball in hand, and he didn't. And then Baden made the one shot that he needed to, and so we are back to within a frame. He's missed an absolute goober there, though. He's had that problem all game, hasn't he? He's done it quite a lot, more so than he usually does. He's missing those shots that you consider those 99 out of 100 type shots for players of Baden's ability. I don't know what it is, only Baden can answer that. Lovely little pop, that's a great shot. He makes that red available. See the way he walked around the table too, he's starting to get that stalk on again. You know, when players stalk the table like Adam's doing, then they feel like they're in a dominant position. Oh, he didn't get either kiss that he wanted there. You either touch the red next to the black or you touch the yellow and release that red. And take this one to the left and bulk and maybe try to get a split on one of those here. Off the rail, no. But at least he's now at the right end of the table, but he's kind of running out of shots here. He's running out of opportunities to get good on one of these two balls that are stuck, or get in a good place to split them. Maybe that red below the black's on from here. I just wonder, I think from this camera view and from the side camera view, this shot is on. So yeah, he's definitely going for it, and there should be a split built into this. Yeah, he did, but he ran into the red first. He wanted to hit the yellow. So he hits the yellow, then the yellow bogs off and the red's on. He's hit the red and he's driven the red to the rail, and the yellow's actually covering the other red down table, so he's got to now come up with a double or with a good tactical shot here. He's unfortunately switched to possibly defence on this now. There's not a lot of places where he can hide either. You've got balls and bulk, so you can't go there. You've got the yellow nearest the red he's playing now, which is easily on. He tried to block that yellow into that corner pocket. He's tried to block the yellow in the corner pocket, and I don't think he's done it. So he was looking for a containing safety there, and for me, he's not been able to pull it off. He's driven that too far to the rail, has Baden, but he's still got the one over the middle pocket. Looking to see if that yellow next to the red passes. Certainly goes in the middle though, so if it doesn't pass there, then he will have the angle off this yellow in the middle pocket to put the yellow next to the red in the other middle. So for me, this yellow passes the red. That's why he's played it that way. He could take it now, or he can, if it passes, it will still pass in a couple of shots' time. Take the one in bulk, come back somewhere near the middle of the table, so then he's got the option of the yellow near the rail, or the one that he's still trying to work out whether it goes or not. That's really tight, in fact. I thought it went for sure, but Baden's giving it more looks than he would be giving it if the ball were on, for sure. Make a decision as to whether this goes or not. He's in prime position to play it now if it does go. So he's decided that it does go. Now he needs to make it so. Yes, and across nicely for the last yellow. That's a great shot. Indeed, so queuing slightly off the rail, but this shouldn't pose too much of a hazard. This to square us at 6. And yes, Baden Jackson back into the share of the lead. And what a game this is becoming now. It's 6 apiece. 6-4 becomes 6-5. Adam Shaw roaring back. Stevie can't get away from him. Adam's still clinging to him. One frame again is the difference. And Adam will get a chance to break, and if he makes a good break and a clearance, then we'll have the same result as this main TV table, where we're squared up at 6. 23 minutes to go in this game. That shouldn't be an issue. Pretty sure we can get 2 or 3 frames played in 23 minutes. What a lovely entree this has been for the games to follow. See, there's nearly 200 of you watching, so... Oh... Don't breathe, hold it in. You can breathe now. You can breathe. It's not going in. Your concurrent viewers, nearly 200 of you viewing, so great job by everyone to show the stream you love. Obviously, got a lot more pull to come, but this early in the morning, or this early in the day, should I say, to have nearly 200 at this stage is magnificent and can only bode well for the rest of the day.
At the end of these matches, remember that we were carded and restart for the semis, and then same at the end of the semi.
Oh, how's he air swung on absolutely everything there? I don't even think Moses could have parted the Red Sea as well as he's done there. Adam's just taking a while to see if he could, his eyes and his brain can process what's just happened there. I can indeed, Terry. I'm just going to wait for it to get tighter. Oh, he's moved the red to somewhere potable. That actually becomes a really good ball for the black now. So I think he's going to shelve that red that he's just moved for last. Use it last, and he needs to make sure that he gets nice and straight on it. But for now, it's the one next to the black spot. Simon won 8-4 over Ryan, Sam there. Got the angle that he wants, and what he can do if he's feeling confident enough to play is to play the billiard off the yellow. The reason why is because it's pretty much a straight shot, and he can draw nicely for that second red. May not need to. No, he didn't need to, so plays the simpler shot of the two. It was available to him and he played it well. So now we want to draw off this left rail here, or sort of play a little punchy draw shot off this left rail here and work the cue ball to go straight towards the red top right here. He needs to make sure he gets good straight position on that. Is he straight enough here? Now, is there enough room between the red and the yellow to where he can pot the red as usual and not hit the yellow? Because if he hits the yellow, then possibly pushes the yellow onto the 8 or close enough to the 8 where it's not on. If he can just squeeze through that gap there, he can. He's played that beautifully. He's on the black, just peachy here. This to make the hill. Yes, indeed, Adam Lilly. What a finish. And he is first onto the hill, Baden Jackson with a break. But he absolutely needs this to go every which way for him now, but that's a wonderful way to get to that hill first. As we see Adam Shaw looking to go to 6 each here. He's just got the one yellow and the black to go, and all he needs to do here is to avoid those reds. He's even gone around behind the back of those reds to ensure that he's nowhere near any of them. It's a simple black, so Adam Shaw draws level with Steve Denton at 6-all there. Sorry I'm a little bit late on that, but the break has been performed and it's gone dry. So Baden with the break, and he absolutely needed a ball off the break there. Break and clear would have been the best case scenario for him to go hill, but instead it will be Adam to look at this table first, and we'll just stick with this top view because that red on... Oh, don't pot the black as well. Adam Lilly, what have you done?
And 6-all in the other game.
Hill, through a pot on the black out of turn, and now we're really getting some sphincter tightening in here, and it's not even 12 o'clock. Man, Stefan, you're an absolute card, man. Don't ever change. Please don't change. Oh, what a finish this is heading for. What a finish. 7 each. Baden breaking that previous frame and not potting a ball off the break. Then Adam potting the black out of turn with his very first visit to the table. That's how we've gotten to 7-all here. Obviously there was an awful lot of pool played before that, but how costly could that one shot be? Adam's got the opportunity to fully expunge it now. He has the break. It's taken a bit of extra time to get that horrible result out of his head. Ooh, Jesus, that was tight. And you can't even write this. He's gone dry as well. Are you kidding? He's hit one of the best breaks I've seen all game and he's gone dry. Does Baden even have a starter here though? He's got to dial long distance possibly if he doesn't have a starter up this end of the table that the cue ball's in. One shot for glory maybe here. He's dialing long distance. No prisoners spared. He's made the ball. Now he needs possibly to get the shark rack removed because this shot now could be Aikimo with it there. This is so awkward with the rest as well. He's going to have to use the heightened rest here because there's absolutely no way he can play with the regular one. What happened? Didn't see the last frame. Well, you obviously blinked, Tara. Baden dry broke and Adam took the red net close to the black, potted it, but potted the black in the opposite corner pocket on the same shot. So foul, loss of frame. So Baden won that frame that way, and that's how we're 7 each. Also, Jordan Mahi's just entered the room.
He's been out there for a while.
This is so important though as to where this cue ball goes. All 3 balls have been lifted up and replaced. Now, you get them as close as they can possibly be to where they were, because if you move any of those balls further away from each other, you unintentionally make this shot easier. This is just such a terrible shot to be playing though. I mean, he's done so well to pot the first ball. He's possibly a tad unlucky that he's ended up this close to the black. If he can make one more pot though, you see all the right that the left that he put on that ball. He's actually taken some of the awkward cueing away by putting all that left on it. He didn't have to go so much over top of the black. He could almost play across the ball instead. Makes another good pot and he's found a route through. Could take the red to the right of the table here. But no, he's sticking to the left. Oh dear, it didn't fall. Wanted that for the one in bulk. He's still looking at it like it's wronged him somehow. Now Adam Lilly. It's not an easy table if you're yellows, but it is a table still where it is possible for a finish. Can Lightning Lily strike here? He's going to dial long distance first, just like Baden did earlier. Hold up. Oh, he's gotten away with one. This is exactly what Baden did earlier. Exactly the same shot. Can Adam turn it into a game winner? Pot this ball, can he get good position on the one? Oh yes, that'll do, that'll do. Yellow cuts down the rail, past the red by the look of it. All Adam has to do is put a good stroke on it. Is that the yellow that's in the D there, the one he's actually playing now, if he can get position on one of the other 2 off it, which he has done, so He's gotten, I think, both of those past the yellow on the left into the middle pocket, so he could potentially play the left one of the two. If he plays the left one of the two, then he leaves the right one for the opposite middle pocket. At least that's how I see it anyway. Just want to have a look over top to see what his angles look like. He certainly seems like the shot is there. He just needs to obviously just miss this yellow, which he has done. So back to your main view, and if he's just off straight here, it's a fairly natural sort of just pot in the middle and kind of coast down the longitudinal centre line, and or just to the left of it, and leave yourself a cut on either yellow into either corner pocket there. He's ended up to the right of it, but he's left himself a really good shot on that ball to the right. Whether he decides he's going to take that now and then play the ball on the left last for the black, the ball on the left becomes a real intriguing ball if he does take it last, because that would be a definition of a game shot. It's almost a call to take it now though, because if you take it now and you don't get a result but you still get the pocket block, then you perhaps give yourself another shot. If he takes it last, that's telling me that he's feeling 100% confident that he can finish without a bit of luck. Oh, he's missed it. He tried to play for it and he hasn't done so. Baden Jackson, he's been behind for a good chunk of this match, but oh, he's jabbed at it. Would you believe it? He's gotten lucky again. Only on the TV table, folks, will you see this sort of play. It's just astounding what we've seen these last few frames. To and out of bulk. Yep. Excellent queuing. Red doesn't pass to the middle, so he'll be looking to put it bottom right corner, I'd say. Just have to make sure that he gets across table though, otherwise if he goes too far, he's got the corner the other side. He doesn't want to end up in a straight line with the red though. He wants to either be past it or he wants to be short of it. He's ended up short of it, but probably by more of a distance than he would like. Still on though, he just needs to make a better shot than he otherwise would have had. Once again though, look at this. He's having to walk around the table and just recompose himself here. This is some sort of frame, folks. The last two frames have been full of everything. Made it. That's a beautiful shot to get on the black. He's done this so well. Now he just needs to do one more to get into the semi-finals. Baden Jackson. Yes, indeed. From what seemed like absolutely nowhere, he has won this match. 8-7 over Adam Lilly. Tough luck ads, but well done Baden. And this game now 6-7 to Adam Shaw. And wouldn't you know it, Adam Shaw is at the table. Steve Denton's been 1 or 2 frames ahead for most of this match, but Adam's now retaken the lead on yellows here. Tara, you can resume your normal breathing pattern now. Adam's going to come off the rail here for the plant. Oh, he made it. He's not on the one that he played, but he is on the one in bulk, so he's still got a shot. He's got to again make a shot here. He had to make a shot the first time around, he did that. Now he has to make another one, but he's going to play a double here. He's going to try and double this past the black, or even double it for the weight. Gets his weight right, doesn't pot it, then it's still a good shot, but it's crossing now back to the more aggressive shot of the two. He's hit it too fat. He's hit it too fat. He was probably wanting to make sure he didn't hit it too thin, because that's quite easy to do when you're playing long distance. He's overcorrected, and now Steve's got a chance to mop these 7 reds up. He's definitely made that first one more available for himself, so gets a big tick for the first one. Yeah, you're right, Tara. I mean, so you look back at moments in that game that stood out, and Baden dry breaking, and then Adam not clearing from it. That was one of them. And then Baden managing to clear from where he was. And then obviously in the 14th frame, when Adam potted the black out of turn to lose the frame, and then he didn't make the finish in the last frame, which would have won him that frame. So you're looking at just Adam's side of it there. And obviously Baden let a few go as well that he otherwise should have won, but again, funny game, Paul is. It swings and roundabouts.
This could go to a 6 red if Steve wins this.
Well, that's a good point, Paul. There's a clock top right of your screen, folks. It's not there for show. 3 minutes to go in this game.
Both
Steve
players did ask time from Mike before this, so doesn't know how many match.
So this will go to a 6 red shootout if Steve manages to win this frame, and then there's not enough time for a 15th frame. I'll tell you what, if this red passes the black, then this is all good.
Don't have other cameras.
Because then all he'd need to do is pot the one in the middle, and then he's sweet. But if it doesn't pass the black, then he'll need to go in behind the red and try and pot it in a different pocket. Yeah, it doesn't go. He's done so well. That's a brilliant shot. 2 minutes to go. Ooh, just wipes its feet. Now the black. 7 all. So, folks, you get bonus pull. And you could have more bonus pull. If players shake hands. So this game's gone 7 each as well. So you get some more sphincter tightening excitement. This is exactly what I sign on for every time I step in the commentary booth. Stuff like this. I hope you guys are feeling... Oh dear, that's horrible. I hope you guys are feeling as excited about this as I am. I wonder if we might get a bit of speed pull here. It says on the screen that there's 1 minute or less than 1 minute to go here. But is there enough time for somebody to make a clearance here? Let's find out if Adam can actually get this done in time. The reds are looking good for it. Are you going to make this one go towards the middle of the table? Make the red in the middle, and those 2 reds that are next to each other both go middle pocket. Get on, yeah, the one below the black, and then This is going to be a bit tricky now, though. In fact, he's going to look... He was looking for a cannon, but now he's gone back to the one below the black. Plant. Yes. Oh, just about got them both. There must only be seconds remaining. Oh, he's missed it. He's missed it. If he'd got it, he might have had a shot. He would have been snookered from here. He made such a good fist of that, but the clock struck 12. So this game will go to a 6-red shootout, folks. Strap in. Right now, we've seen one of these this week. That was between John Pitcorn and Riley O'Donnell. Riley won that. This one, however, has so much more riding on it. You win the 6-red shootout, you make it to the semi-finals. So, rules are simple. You just rack up 6 reds as in a triangle formation. I believe I don't think it's the front. I don't think the apex red goes on the spot. I think it's racked about the same way as your regular rack and super in these rules. I think they're just going to get clarification on that. It is quite important, and in fact it's the back middle red that's on the spot, because that would be exactly the same way as your normal 15 ball rack in international rules. It was good to actually get Simon over to tell the players that, so that they know what they're doing. Youth versus the Ice Ages. No, it doesn't, Mr. South. Well, actually, in the Pockets Pro Series, the clock does stop in between frames, but the clock doesn't stop in this game. However, if the clock had stopped between frames, and would obviously have a fair bit more time to play that last frame, but no, it's 2 hours, and like football, the clock doesn't stop. So the players will lag to determine who plays first, and in fact the winner of the lag can decide whether he will go first or whether he puts his opponent in. This is a good lag. Adams ended up winning the lag, and as is what often happens, you win the lag in these situations, you actually put your opponent in, and the reason for that is because you know what time you need to beat, because your opponent needs to establish a time, and so the pressure's on them to make a really good time, because the incoming player knows what they need to do. John's game, they tossed a coin. Well, determination for the break in this game is always done by lag, so yeah, it should have been a lag in that situation, John, but they've got it right here. I think Steve's just trying to work out where exactly he needs to rack these, because it's obviously a bit more difficult with you only using half the triangle. You wouldn't want to use a shark rack on this, because the shark rack will just get in your way, because all the balls will end up around the shark rack and you just can't remove it. So Steve Denton to start first. Employing the break from the side here, and that's the one here. Make sure that you split them well, which he has done. In good position here. He's going to take the one to the middle. Only the cue ball has to stop. This is amazing. Look at this. Back nice and straight so he can play a stun shot. Taking a bit of time, so all he needs to do is fire this in and the clock stops. We don't have the benefit of a stopwatch, so I don't know how fast that was, but that's a mighty good effort for Adam to beat.
See what I can find out, John.
No, you don't smash it you do not smash the break in this, because the balls all fly around the table. What you want to do is break them up softly, but see, Steve's break was perfect there. He broke it softly. He didn't hit the centre of the middle.
24.41.
24.41 seconds that was. But you don't hit them hard. You break them softly, but you get the cue ball ideally to the side rail and back out, and that way it's nice and central to all the balls you've just split, and then you can just get your Nikes on and run. So Adam Shaw has 21. I'm trying to get my stopwatch here. I don't know if I've got a stopwatch on me. I'm going to try and get it on my phone. Obviously this is not going to be the official time. The official time will be done by the tournament controller because he will be having a stopwatch of his own, but I'm just going to do mine here just to see if you can get an idea of whether Adam can beat the time or not. So okay, employing the same break. So here we go. That's a terrible break. Adam, you've got to get them split. He's trying to get his skates on here. He'll be looking for a little split here. Oh, they've gone in each other's way again. That'll have to be a foul, surely. He's got 5 seconds. He's running his clock down. We've hit 25 seconds, so that's not going to be good enough. Somebody needs to tell him that it's game over. Finally smashes the final ball in, but it's Steve Denton's to win. Steve Denton, well done. 6 red shootout. So 7-all, the game finished in 2 hours, but Stevie Denton wins the 6 red shootout with a time of 24.41 seconds. So 12:30, so 23 minutes from now. We've just been told officially 33 seconds for Adam. So 23 minutes from now we will start the semi-finals. So this stream will be cut and reset just before then. So make sure you stay close to your devices. I hope you've enjoyed the coverage so far, and for now I'll love you and leave you.